Oh, I just have to push it.
Push it.
Push it real good.
Push it into shape. Shape it up. Bam, bam, now. Push it good. Push it real good. Wow. Fucking ridiculous.
Oh, shit.
All right, bitch. Are you ready for this? Are we both struggling? Yes, we are.
There we go.
Holy fuck.
There we go.
Wow.
There we go.
All right. All right. We are here.
We're here and we're ready for it. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep. I am going to start today off with a question.
And I have an answer.
I hope so.
Maybe.
Maybe not. Have you ever had an event in your memory that you were certain had occurred, but then later found out that it never did?
Yes, but I can't remember. That's fitting, isn't it?
It is fitting. I've had one before. I think the biggest one that came to my mind when I started reading about this was I used to really like Nickelodeon as a kid. Did you watch Nickelodeon?
Yes.
All right. I think everyone.
Jimmy Neutron.
And I remember the logo that would come on after the credits after every 24-minute show you'd watch. And I remember vividly like
whoa.
That was weird.
What the hell?
Our lights just changed. Oh, dude, your glasses remote controls everything.
That was so weird.
Whoa.
We want that one? Why is that one on?
Guys, sorry. That was like earth-shattering. So all these little
I didn't mean to hit the
baby
button.
remotes must be universal here.
I'm not touching it.
Okay, stop.
Stop touching it. You don't like the rainbow?
No,
it's not going to work.
You like synced the tiny
I
remote.
don't even know how I did that, bro. That's freaking
what
shit.
in the fucking fuck? Remote was for that. Anyways, you guys, my fucking memory
About the Nickelodeon.
that never, like, I have this fucking vivid memory of this, like, all through my childhood. And I came to realize that it never existed, was the orange logo, the Nickelodeon logo.
Like the splat one or the...
Yeah, the splat.
Splat. Am I on? Can you hear
It was
me?
like an orange footprint, and then the white Nickelodeon lettering would show up over the top of it. Anyway, about that, one time a few years ago, I caught the tail end of a Drake and Josh rerun my sister was watching, and there was no footprint behind the label. It was just an orange splat. And I remember even commenting to her, like, oh, they changed the logo.
Oh, my goodness.
And she was like, oh, yeah, I hadn't even noticed that. And it wasn't till later on I was having a conversation while partaking in some mind-altering substances.
Naturally.
And something similar came up. I actually came to learn that there was never a Nickelodeon logo with a footprint behind it. It actually never existed. It's just an orange splat. And so it got me thinking, where did that come from? Because after I thought about it, I asked other 90s kids, and they could have sworn the same thing.
Yeah.
For some reason, it was like a part of this narrative and enough people assigned to that memory to make it quote unquote real. And there's an interesting thing that occurs in these situations where people say, I know this happened. Like, I swear with all my being that this was
all
like real. You know? Have you experienced something like that?
I want to, yes, but I'll have to ask. I was supposed to ask Chase, but then I got distracted.
Oh, no. I feel like
I'm like, I know that happened. And he's like, no, it didn't. And that's like part of like my whole life.
Like a lot of folks have very personal, random things that they remember. And when brought up in conversation, find others remembering it the exact same way or not at all. So why might we be having these weird experiences? I've thought about this. I've thought about this a lot.
Let me tell you.
The first
Google.
thought, dude, literally. What else could I have been doing while I was on quarantine for a week?
Work.
And I also have to fill my anxiety-ridden mind with things to read about. Otherwise, I go crazy. You've experienced the cheese sliding off the cracker recently.
Mine did.
Yes. So I know you know how I feel. But the first thought that occurs most readily is people go like, oh, maybe I was mistaken. Memories blur over time. You know, it's easy to tell ourselves that we must have had it wrong. But what if our minds are just playing tricks on us? I mean, they do tend to do so, like ours do all the time.
Yeah.
Fucker.
In this damn house.
A lot of people simply debunk this effect through false memory, and the next couple points I'll mention simply go along with this. There's this weird thing called confabulation.
Confabulation.
Which in short are like false statements or retellings of events that lack relevant evidence or support to prove that these things have happened.
So are U.S. history books?
Yeah, exactly. So basically like, and that's actually like a theory that goes into this theory. Like it's a
theory
big
on
old
top of
thing.
a theory.
And then there's like the simple argument of misremembering in the same sense that whatever it is actually does exist somewhere. The collective just might not remember it as you do. And maybe it got lost over time since things weren't like documented over the internet and magazines and television as well, especially before the 2000s.
Snapchat wasn't invented.
Yeah, just literally. How did we get anything done?
How did we remember anything without Snapchat?
Not really, though. And then there's my personal favorite reasoning behind this phenomenon, air quotes. Maybe there's something more cosmic at work behind this phenomenon.
Oh my God.
What if instead of ordinary human foibles or fucking mistakes, the past seems to be altered because we live in a world of intersecting parallel universes, of shifting histories, of multiple mutable realities? What would you say?
Wow.
This episode is about the Mandala effect, fam, and you are listening to Hard Talks with a Blonde and a Hippie.
Hard Talks?
Is this taboo? You know
It was
what
like
this
the
is.
longest intro
I know.
we've ever done in our lives.
I loved it.
your underwear.
They're crass and inappropriate. It's your trippy hippie Alicia jumping on the mic from good old Utah. Fuck.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm starting to feel this shit.
Welcome.
work. To Hard Talks.
Seduction.
Seduction.
Where the talks are really hard.
I thought this was Flaccid Talks.
This shit sound deep.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring, bitch. This is Hard Talks. Hard Talks. Hard Talks. You're listening to Hard Talks with a blonde and a hippie.
Brought to you by Hard Talk Seduction.
Woo! It's nice to be back here with you, Sarah.
So
It's
great.
been a while.
It's so great. Like, when was the last time we recorded?
A couple weeks ago because I had COVID quarantine.
Well, we recorded then too, but it was like,
yeah, you literally
here.
were like, it's favorite
oh my
Sarah.
God. You're like, yeah, I can't hear it, but I'm still going to publish it anyways. Who cares?
I did do that. So, high five.
Hey, yeah.
Published to the masses. Anyways, from misquoting famous movie lines. Oh, fuck, dude. I'm Alicia.
Hey,
Your trippy hippie.
how's it going?
Good. What's your name?
Your favorite blonde?
And we're here.
Whoop, whoop.
We're freaking here. Talking about
Oh, I thought you were looking for the applause button. I was like,
my brain has still got the COVID fog.
It even has like writing on it. You can like see it. But she's all like,
It takes me a long time to process reading.
you even like, you've
No, it's been bad. Work's
like
been hard.
a year and a half. No,
Yes.
yeah, a year and a half. And it's been the same.
Yeah. So we are talking the Mandala effect today. I don't think we need a disclaimer, but I will curse like a sailor because that is just us. So
You should put the disclaimer in before we started.
I know. Parental advisory.
I mean, it's what, like the 73rd
Third.
episode. They should know by now.
73rd episode. Yes.
75.
So, we're here. We've done our introductions. I knocked my bell on the floor. I'm a mess. You're a mess. We're here.
We're hot messes.
And I'm going to see if I can explain some of this to you with my brain fog. It's going to be really humorous in the sense that your brain's going to hurt after this. So mine's really going to hurt after this.
Oh, it was a big yawn.
Yeah. From misquoting famous movie lines to recalling entire events that never occurred. Occurred. The human memory is far from perfect. In short, Mandala effect is a term wherein a group of people or a certain population all have the same memories of certain phenomenon like events, names, or details, but said details actually differ from the real life thing. While some studies show that the Mandala effect is just based on the psychological effect I already mentioned called confabulation, others beg to differ. I mean, consider the chances that a majority will most likely experience or be affected by this in some way over their lifetime. It seems kind of slim, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sarah's like processing the way I'm processing. I suppose, we'll let you guys be the judge then, because we're just here. Hi. First proposed by author and paranormal researcher Fiona Broome in 2009.
Hello, Fiona.
It all began at a science fiction and comic book convention.
So she was the one that made up the Mandala effect?
Yes.
She's like, I'm going to call it the Mandala
and
effect.
I don't know why I was under the impression, but I thought this was like some really old theory, but it's relatively
2009.
relatively new. But she was at a comic book convention where all good things start. I suppose I've never been to one, but I should go. Where she was actually discussing amongst many other authors and people who were there about the political leader and activist Nelson Mandela.
Oh, that makes sense.
Do you know who that is?
No.
So if you don't know who Nelson Mandela is, he was a South African political leader, and he was like a philanthropist, and he served as president of South Africa from 94 to 96. So when we were being born.
From the time that we were conceived to the time we were born, to the time our first birthday happened.
Literally.
I just spit everywhere.
And that was just after his incarceration for over 27 years as a result of his efforts to bring racial harmony and equality to South Africa.
Poor guy. He's like, I just want everybody to love everybody.
He did not deserve to be
and
in
they're
prison.
like, no.
Literally, that's worth a whole other episode. But anyways, Fiona Broome, the author of this theory, she realized then that most of the people she was talking with believed that Nelson Mandela had died while he was in prison, when in actuality he was still alive.
So
like
how does that get they're like, he died.
Literally,
No,
everyone she was talking to basically was saying the same thing. And so what was most shocking about this revelation was how well people remembered his death occurring. Many recalled the funeral snippets on TV, and people swore there was a fucking Oprah episode about his death, and there were headlines all over media.
Oh, shit.
So you can imagine how shocked everyone was when Nelson Mandela was elected as president of South Africa. Almost called it South America. Yeah.
Wow.
And he fucking won. So Nelson Mandela's real death was December 5th, 2013. And although these fabricated memories of the people remembering his death during his time in prison, they have no proof, obviously.
I mean, shit, he was alive. So.
Yeah. It's still a mystery where they got those memories from and why they remember them so clearly in the first place.
And why there were so many people that were like, no. Like, I don't know this. Like, you're not going to, like, get together in a room one day and be like, Nelson Mandela died, and this is how he died, right?
Yeah, I saw his funeral. I read it in the newspaper. But
it's like a Comic-Con, too, so, like, they're coming from, like, everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not just, like, they all know each other. Like, that, like, see...
Well, and it was actually at that time that Fiona Broome knew Mandela wasn't dead. But there began this fucking spiral, right? Kind of like we're on right now, going down. At least
like
she believed he wasn't dead At least not in her world.
She's like, pretty sure he's alive.
Yeah.
And they're
and-
like, no, he's not. She's like, mm.
But so many accredited, like, educated people stood in front of her believing the latter, that he was fucking dead. So could it be possible, do you think, maybe that, like, what you know and what I know are different because, like, we could be in a different time stream or a fraction of a different time stream. So what we're experiencing and recalling are slightly different, kind of like deja vu, dude.
My brain hurts.
Yeah, it reminds me of deja vu, but like in totality, like physically being in a different time dilation. Because time essentially is just physically proven, like,
I guess
to be like,
yeah.
we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
That could make sense.
She's like, no.
No, it could because like say they're like time lapsing, right?
Mhm.
But like we're on different like our fam like yeah.
Like, time is relative.
Yeah.
So,
But it's like we're like what you do right now in this moment affects you and how I spit my tongue. Like that. See how I was talking. If I didn't talk, I wouldn't have bit my tongue. But like like what is happening in this moment goes on in the I don't know, dude. Man,
dude.
fuck.
time dilatation's a whole nother topic, but
It's a whole other episode. We don't have time for that today.
a great example of the Mandala effect is actually, did you ever read those Berenstain Bear books?
Yes.
Did you ever watch the cartoon as a kid?
No.
Oh, there was a cartoon too. And I remember there was even like a theme song. And but like the most famous Mandala effect is like in this scenario. It was even like a show, like I said, in 85 and 87. And there's a huge collective of people who knew it as Berenstain Bears instead of Berenstain Bears, which it actually is. That's the correct way to say it. It was named after the authors.
Okay, what was that?
So I grew up knowing it as the Berenstain Bears.
Yes.
But it's actually the the Berenstain Bears.
Berenstain.
Yeah.
Okay.
These people who believe these books to be Stein instead of Stain, us included apparently, were tripped the fuck out to discover the truth because as they went their whole lives, they believed it, pronouncing it as the alternative, which it is weird. It is weird.
Berenstain. I don't even know.
It's weird when you grow up with something and you think you know something so well. And
Potato.
That feeling is so weird when you're like, dude, I'm fucking wrong. Like
You're like, holy shit. Like everybody thought that.
yeah. I
You're
mean,
like, no.
we all know how big of a mindfuck that is when you go your whole life believing something is one way and find out it's inaccurate the whole time.
That's just history.
History, man. Anyway, it's usually in the details of an event, like the small things that appear to
Like
be.
Nate, like because it's
Yeah.
so like
It's so
you
close.
have to like really listen to how you're saying it because there's like the Berenstain Bears, and then like the Bernstein Bears.
I wish I had my phone,
Right?
Because I would play the song because I listened to it, like the theme song, and it says Berenstain in the beginning, but by the end of the song, it's Berenstein, and that's argued a lot because they have like thick Southern accents. Theme
Berenstain
song, and a lot of
Bear.
people are like, "Well, it's the accent." Yeah, Mandala effect.
So,
That's the first thing that came up.
I typed it in wrong. So I typed in bear, like BEARINST, and it came up as the third search, as in the Berenstain Bears Mandala effect.
Yeah. Because it's been argued all over. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can't recall a specific memory like this, don't worry. There's so many fucking people who've experienced this weird fucking feeling. And it's weird, I think, because when you have that feeling and you look back on that memory, it appears to be distorted in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Like your mind has altered it or something. Like another great example is a lot of people say, oh, you got it.
I got it.
Do it.
Want me to play it?
Yes.
Okay, let's see right here.
Bernstein. Berenstain. See, it's different. That's it. But so that's why so many people argue it, because they grew up hearing it one way, and then I don't know. I don't think her accent is so strong that it's.
That second one, she's like the Berenstain Bears. Because the first one, she's like the Berenstain Bears.
It's definitely more pronounced. So I don't know. It's anyway. So another example that a lot of people refer to is people
Benedict
eggs. People say that the Columbine massacre. Wow. Fuck, Sarah.
Rewind, reset. Okay, go again.
The Columbine massacre did happen, but not in 99. It occurred in 96. And so when I first started down this rabbit hole,
oh my God.
At first I thought, like, could it be that simple of like visualizing the numbers?
4 years.
Yeah, the numbers flipped in that instance. Like 69, like mass form of dyslexia.
Right? Shit. Someone started that and they're just like a rabbit hole. They're like, no, it was in 99. And people were like, oh, yeah, it was. No, it wasn't.
Well, it was in 99, but that's what I'm saying. People
are
are
saying
saying
96.
Nope. It was in 99.
Oh, see? Shit.
Dude, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So with enough people like believing strongly enough to back it up, I think that's like we've seen it in like paranormal cases too. Or like if you have enough people to put energy towards something, like shit can happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I don't know if
You can move a car.
literally, yeah, watch. Sarah's going to go do that right after we're done.
I'm going to go lift a car.
A lot of the misrememberings I've looked over have spelling errors or dates that are just slightly off. Like a lot of people think Looney Tunes was spelled with 2 O's in the tunes, but it's regular tunes, Tunes. It's like a logo thing.
That was me.
Yeah, and same with Fruit Loops. People thought Fruit Loops was
Foot Loops. I can see that because like they're like when I read my books, I literally sometimes have to go like over it multiple times because I'm like, why does that not make sense to me?
Yeah, but
and it's because like, but have you ever read those like one things where they're like, you're reading this wrong, read it again?
Yeah.
And it's like you read it so fast, where you're like, this is how you want to. That's like how you want to see it is how you read it, but it's completely wrong.
Well, it'd be so easy to be like, oh, this is why we just have shitty memories and can't read. You know what I mean?
Like Looney Tunes. You're like, oh yeah, it's Looney Tunes. Like with
but then my brain kept going back to Mandala himself, fucking Nelson Mandela.
And they're like, he's dead. No, he's not.
Yeah,
he was alive.
It wasn't as simple as accidentally mistaking a date by one number. This was a whole narrative woven around people's recollections
and they're like,
experiences.
We saw it on like TV and like Oprah, and you're like, what?
Yeah, dude, this was big fucking news at the time. Like something rather hard to make up as an imaginary memory.
And then Oprah comes and she's like, no.
Yeah, and then just like telling your bud,
That
and
didn't
then
happen.
because we all know the telephone game sucks. So how did the same story exactly get spun by so many people?
And that's like then it was in the Comic Con, so it was like they're from different places. It's not like they all got together and like we're all best friends and let's stick to this. Like even that too, your stories never sound the same.
Right, exactly.
There's always like one misstep.
Yeah.
Somewhere in a story, when you have multiple people trying to lie about something, you have at one misstep,
There's always a fucking weak link in the chain.
That'd be me.
Yeah, me too. I'm a horrible liar.
They look at me, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. Piss my pants. I'm like, shit, man, what? They're like, what happened? I'm like, I did it.
Well, and a lot of
me.
people will argue that this is just like suggested view of observation, as simple as like mishearing part of a conversation or a snippet on the news or whatever. But or I could even like understand like if someone was like, it's a prime example of the personal lens in which we filter our experiences in the world we reside in. But I kind of agree with Fiona Broom in the sense that like the author of this theory, again, she defines these occurrences as like real alternate memories of a history that does not match with the documented history in this reality. And those collective false memories are a result of alternative versions of the universe or time.
So if like Nelson Mandela did something different in prison, he could have ended up dying.
Yeah, like who's to say that he didn't die? And people really did experience that.
And then like time shift happened again, and they're like, but he's like, I'm going back and I'm changing that.
But I think that's what she meant is like, in my world, he's definitely alive.
Yeah.
But in their world, because I don't know how you experience your everyday, how you filter emotions or what you experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's a trip. Fiona Broom also doesn't claim to know why these kinds of interpretations occur, but there are many, many theories that have been speculated, and we're going to talk about a couple of them.
Of course we are.
Are you ready?
Let's get into a bash.
We'll start with one of the more boring theories.
Buying.
To simply get it out of the way, and we've kind of already discussed it, but many theorize that the internet itself has distorted the way we remember things. Like, think of all the memes we see with iconic movie lines or whatever. The one off the top of my head is from Star Wars Episode 3. And it's where Darth Vader says,
"Luke, I am your father."
But you know what?
Weird.
That's not the real line.
What the fuck? What is it? I guess I don't really watch Star Wars, so what is it?
But it's such an iconic line.
I mean, like, I knew what it was. I didn't even watch Star Wars.
Exactly. So the actual line is, "I am your father." There is never any Luke. Yeah, fucker. It's such an iconic line, but we as the viewers have inferred our own version of it.
No, we want him to say specifically, "Luke,
well, because
I am your father."
He's talking to him in the movie, and he is his father. But I mean, yeah.
He is, but he just doesn't say "look." He just says, "I'm your father," and he's like, "What?"
Yeah, we basically inferred our own version of it to the point that the real line sounds weird.
And then someone was all like, "No, I want to say "Luke, I am your father," because that just sounds so much better.
It does. It's very assert. Luke, I'm your.
Oh shit!
Luke.
That was like a.
I can't even fucking try, dude. I can't.
I am your father.
The second theory that I'm going to bring up is
Which is much more killer.
It's also a buzz killer. Yes, is very logical. Very logical.
Well, why does this guy have to be blue? Why can't he be purple?
In my world, it is.
Perfect. I love that.
Second is priming. Air quotes, also known as suggestibility.
Ooh, I'll make it you.
I guess priming could be. I'm priming myself for you.
I gotta go shave. I'm gonna go get primed up.
That is so me.
Like, I shaved my legs for this shit.
I need a whole 24 hours notice before anything funky's happening.
Have you seen the other women?
Yes.
And she's like, I need like a solid 24 hours.
That's my life.
And she's like, you're not ready like at all times. And she's like, no. No.
Is that Leslie Mann?
Yes.
You did a pretty good impression of her.
I did right there, huh?
I could tell it was her. No. I always remember her from George the Jungle. George is the Jungle. Yeah, that's yeah. Anyways.
I freaking love that show. The other woman.
Priming, also known as suggestibility.
Mm-hmm.
And it is how it sounds. Dirty and wrong. Just kidding. In psychology, this idea describes like another phenomenon in which exposure to a thought or idea directly influences a person's response to a subsequent thought. So, for example, if a person reads or hears the word grass, You know, they'll probably fucking recognize another related word such as like a tree or a lawnmower more quickly than
Tree.
Well, more than an unrelated word, you
A
know?
gas.
Gas. Is that what you
I
said?
said ass
Grass and ass.
in the word.
Well, so basically, this can influence a person's reactions and memory. Like if you're being interrogated by someone and someone's like, "Do you think you walked into the room?" You're probably going to be like, and when you're recalling the memory, you're going to be like, "Yeah, I did walk into a room," but
Or it
you
could be
probably
like-
never did.
It's like that TikTok where you're watching that girl and she has her robe on and she takes off and she's in a dress and like you can't remember what her robe color was. What you can't remember what her robe color was because you remember what her dress looks like. 'Cause it's like
Kinda.
when you walk in, they're like, "What shirt was he wearing?" And you're like, "Black," or was it green?
Well, suggestibility
Like, I
is
don't know.
more like planting.
Yeah, because they're like, "But was it green?" And you're like,
Well, now,
I don't
okay,
know.
I'm on the same page. Yes. Now I don't remember. I think it was both. Yeah.
"Yeah," because you're like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
It was blue, and they're like, "But could it have been green?" Be like, why the fuck would it be green? And
You
then
know-
you're sitting here, and your mind's like, "Could it be green?" Maybe it was purple.
I know. My brain is turning into mush. You know, and although
This one's gonna be very sorry, listeners. This episode, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Like, I know.
they're on the same page. I know they are. They're smart. I don't know who suggested Mandala or, you know, I also think of like Macaulay Culkin because someone told me
Oh, fuck.
that he died when I was a kid. And I grew up like seriously thinking that he was dead. Macaulay Culkin, the kid from Home Alone.
Oh
Everyone,
no, he's
every-
just old.
everyone told me he like died of a drug overdose, and I like
That
heard it
makes
from a lot of
sense.
people, my grandma included. So grandma's word is usually gold. I think that's why I ran
Hell
with it
yeah.
for so long.
Have
But
you met my grandma?
yeah, when I realized that he wasn't dead, that was a trip too.
Yeah. Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, but I can't imagine like how it would snowball to like a whole community of people believing
Oh yeah, overdose.
all the same thing. You know what I mean? Like it just seems wild to
but
me.
so specific too.
Yeah.
Because
Like-
again, you get that one little jackass that just messes
It's like
the story up.
we have a hard time remembering the details and words and dates, but we come up with these elaborate mandala stories of people's deaths
I
or
know.
marriages or fucking
They're like, they got
bankruptcy.
married.
I don't
Kind
know.
of.
I have no idea.
But Kim K and what's his name? Who did she marry?
Kanye?
Yeah, they for sure got married, right?
Yeah, well, I don't follow them very closely, but
think
I
so.
know they
They're
did
divorced now.
because they got a divorce. But kind of same thing. Like I heard all these things about them having kids, but in my mind, I just remembered Kim K being like 2010 Kim K, no kids ever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like fabulous.
Fabulous.
But I don't know. It's all wild. I suppose not as wild as these next couple of theories I'm about to share, but they're my favorite. I like science fiction and
Look,
yes, Luke, Sarah.
Sarah.
God, these are scary. Sorry. The third theory is where it gets really interesting. You like that hand motion? My eyes bulging. This idea that we are living in an alternate reality, like I suggested earlier.
You do suggest that a lot.
Yeah, that
Do you
somehow
know something we don't know?
maybe
Oh shit!
I'm
what?
sharing it now. That somehow some of us are experiencing parallel universes where only tiny little details are changed, like things you would have to go super micro to notice. Like think of the Find the Difference game, Sarah, where you have two of the same
God,
pictures.
yes.
Yeah. And you have to find the subtle differences between
And there's like
the two.
25, and you can only find 24.
You get frustrated as fuck.
You're like, where's that last one?
Yeah. Now, in this scenario, as I said, there would only be tiny, tiny micro changes. So it wouldn't even be as big as like noticing that,
Like your shirt, instead of that being like a yellow stripe, it could be
yeah.
a purple stripe.
Yeah, it wouldn't be, but it wouldn't even be that big. It would be
No.
like much, much smaller. Like noticing like a shoelace is tied differently in one. or like one button on someone's shirt is misshapen and different than all the rest. That's how small.
Okay.
Yeah. So imagine being aware in this slightly different plane where the only noticeable differences are in like your peanut butter brands. Like suddenly Jif peanut butter is Jiffy peanut butter, which is an actual Mandala effect as well. A lot of people thought Jif was Jiffy, which I don't blame them. It's cooler.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Or
Oh
like
my
instead
God.
of Curious George's man with a yellow hat is man with a yellow beret.
What?
Broom's explanation ties into several popular theories that
The
suggest that the Mandala effect occurs when our own reality intersects with other alternate realities of a parallel universe. And this concept of alternative reality directly comes from quantum physics and string theory. And I'm not even going to try to begin to explain string theory.
Can you just like Google that shit on your own time?
Yeah, you can. But in layman's terms, it explains the universe and the very nature of reality. So in terms of tiny strings that vibrate in like 10 dimensions, imagine 10 strings vibrating together. I hope you're watching this on YouTube. And they
I know,
count.
I like my fidget spinner.
They count in physics one of these dimensions being time itself. That's how relative time is. So you never know. This world is fucking mad. Anything is fucking possible. But since nobody has like ever consciously been to like any of these other air quote realms, or at least don't remember, the theory itself technically remains unproven and is highly controversial in the science world.
I mean, how are we to, say it's no, what's that?
But I think that's why I love the concept so much, because you could just go forever. Like, just, I don't know. The next theory, Sarah, are you ready for this?
I hope.
Is even more out there, but that's why we're here, because
It's called
love-
the Mandala effect.
I
huh?
love thinking about this shit. Have you ever
Say
seen The
brain
Matrix?
No,
You know what The Matrix is?
kind of.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen this from 1996, warning, spoiler alert.
Warning.
Unless you've already read like fucking Plato's allegory of the cave, which is forever old, you already got your spoiler with your cross between the two stories. But a lot of people take this theory of the Matrix and consider it the cause for a mandala. This theory states that what we are experiencing when we have these beliefs or thoughts that don't match up with the timeline that is most common to everyone else might be because we are experiencing a blip in the matrix. And that means there's like some kind of glitch, like something isn't quite right. Like an identical black cat walks by in the same, like think of a broken TV screen and like a slide, like black cat and a black cat. That's uncommon, right? That's weird. But I mean,
the same
like,
black cat to walk past you twice at the very exact same time, at the exact same speed, length, and everything.
yeah,
It's exactly the
exactly
same.
identical. Or it's like where New Zealand is relative to Australia. They're just swapped or something. Or like, we lost World War II and we're living in an alternate universe of oppression under Nazi rule or something. Like, that's a fucking extreme. But are you following me?
Damn.
Are you following me?
You went like hard left.
No, I was like, seriously, like imagine
yes,
that.
yes,
Imagine
yes,
if the
yes,
Allies lost. Anyways, that'd be a fucking shitty
Don't put that in your
timeline.
mind because
Shitty
we
timeline.
don't. That won't happen.
But essentially, a matrix is like we're living in this giant program.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like a simulation, if you will, or some kind of programmable entity. A thing that when it gets firmware update, you know, like imagine just like being in a simulation and getting a fucking software update and all of a sudden there being a glitch in your system. That would suck.
One glitch, and you're like, that freaking cat, man. Goddamn thing keeps walking by.
But I mean, like, firmware isn't perfect. And, like, every once in a while, there would be some errors. And maybe that's what we're experiencing.
Yeah.
Like we're just in a fucking massive simulation and there's a glitch in our system. And or some people's system. And that's why they have different memories than we do.
Makes sense.
I don't necessarily believe in that one, but it's a cool one to think about.
That one is a cool one to think about, but I don't think we're
there yet.
No, I mean, I can time travel, sure.
Yeah. Well, the downfall of the Matrix or the simulation theory is we would have no consciousness or like idea of true reality because that's all we would know, right? Is the simulation. So, I mean, that kind of disproves itself. Yeah. Yeah. So
we would know if we were in the Matrix.
I would hope so. We need a Keanu Reeves on call just in case.
Always and forever.
Beautiful Keanu.
Love him.
But I mean, like, these are more in line with science fiction for sure, but they're definitely interesting to think about. But it's almost like you remember our deja vu episode?
Yes.
Yeah. A mandala is like a reverse deja vu where it's like you have this sense that you've experienced something exactly the same, only it's the sense that it's different. And we actually talked about that forever ago in that episode. There's a French term actually called jamais vu, which I think we briefly talked about.
Yeah.
But it's where the familiar suddenly seems unfamiliar or disconcerting. And what I'm referring to in this particular phenomenon is like, it's a very much like a gut thing, your intuition. It's this innate sense of this, like, this is how it was, but it wasn't.
It was, but it wasn't, but it was.
I know, and it's hard.
It wasn't.
Especially like thinking about these things when we live in a day and age where we are so technologically advanced. Like we could easily pull it up to disprove ourselves online, but
just Google all that shit.
Yeah, it's very much this sense that this is how it was, and there's something like disassociative about it almost. I don't know. I don't like that feeling of I'm such a control freak. Like I need to know why I'm feeling this way. Like it's almost like a feeling of vertigo.
Yeah.
Without the dizziness or the fainting.
Or the fainting. Jeez.
But I don't know. It's like what do you do with this information and what do you do with that feeling? I don't know. I think I'm more of an empath than you.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
you and Chase
tap into things that normal people don't tap into.
No, I'm over here just like, why?
Why?
Give me a good book.
And this is a side note, everything. But I got thinking about this while I was doing the research for this. And, you know, when people meet and they feel like they've known each other forever, and there are like some people who propose that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you met Chase, didn't you feel that way? Like, I've known you forever after you stalked him, of course.
Naturally, yeah, I mean, that kind of helps, stalking him for a year, but
I don't know. It's like kind of what people say about old souls and stuff too. It's like,
he's my soulmate.
I don't know. It's like you're in tune with like some other infinity and beyond, man. Like with some past, or I guess in this case, present version of yourself, but on a different timeline.
Okay, what?
Yeah. It's like you are like an old soul, for example, or someone you meet but feel like have known forever. A lot of people suggest that you have known them forever in another timeline, meaning another parallel universe.
That makes sense. Your souls were destined to meet.
Yeah. And I mean, like going back to string theory, like it has been physically proven that in the physical realm, there are 10 fucking planes. So it's very possible that there are other versions of ourselves out in the multiverse. And maybe that's exactly what deja vu is.
But we're not supposed to like, because you know, like when you time travel, you're not supposed to like meet yourself.
yeah, maybe that's why we don't know of another existing version of ourselves. This is all we know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
It's a fucking trip.
Clearly, this is a theoretical thing, and no one has like traveled to and back from other universes. At
Yet.
least not in a public way. But it gets my mind spiraling. Like, what if in this case, some people do know each other forever in another space and time? I'm convinced that's what like soulmates are.
But yeah.
Or just like twin flames.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of cosmic work at
Or
play.
like your past lives, like you could have known that person in your past life, and you guys are just like,
yeah. But I don't know. I go back and forth because the very small logical part of my brain
very small.
thinks otherwise. Like the mind is an incredible thing.
I mean, shit. There's like a movie about that.
Yeah.
It's like we're only tapped into like 10% of our mind, but if you tapped into like the full 100%.
Lucy.
Yeah.
That movie is really good. Yeah.
Where she gets tapped into like the full one, and she's like changing her eye color, her hair.
Well, we talked about like,
And she's like,
I
but
fucking
it's
can't
true. Like
remember.
we don't know what the full mind is like capable of.
The Kardashev scale. We talked about that on our Egypt episode where there's like planet 1, 2, 3, and they're like tapped into like this brain power that's helped them lock in like the natural powers of their planet or their galaxy or their fucking solar system even.
And we're 0.
That's a theory. Yeah, we're negative.
We're negative.
But like maybe there was or is, I'm sure there is other life forms out in the multiverse or the galaxies.
You gotta think about it because
that have tapped into that kind of brain
so
power.
Big that there can't be one planet with a life source on it.
Well, and dude, that's why I'm convinced that they came and built the fucking pyramids for us.
I keep telling people about that shit. I'm like, do I got a freaking conspiracy for you?
Because, well, like, seriously, like something much, no offense, human race, but something much smarter than us.
The wheel wasn't
is out there.
invented. The wheel wasn't even invented yet.
I don't know, man.
Or told me that one. Chase said, well, yeah, they had logs.
But, like, think of, like, even with our 10% brain power.
I don't know if it's 10%.
The mind, no, it is 10%. The mind is so incredible. Like, think about moments in trauma, how it heals itself and forgets. Like, your mind will protect itself in the sense that it will compartmentalize certain memories and totally block them out from your mind.
But too, like I was talking to someone else
it's a
about
coping mechanism.
Like, people, how they write books. Where do they come up with this shit?
Where does it come from? Where's the idea? Where is it spawned from?
Literally, like there is so many books out there that a lot of them, yes, in the same sense can be the same, but there's so many that are so different.
Yeah.
That it's like, what?
Well, and like the idea of there being an alternate version of ourselves somewhere out there is a wild thought, but
who are we to say
it's not too fucking crazy. Like it really isn't.
No.
Especially like when you get into like fucking mathematics. I think it's fucking called topology, where mathematicians have mathematically proven how to flip a sphere inside out or whatever. It's basically fluid geometry. Like everything has been proven on paper that this is possible.
I mean, those who know numbers are just like, people freak me out because, like, why do you know numbers so well?
Yeah, but it almost freaks out humans to hear the multitude of possibilities. I mean, they're infinite.
Because there's just too much that can't be explained.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, how do we know? Like the ocean.
Right. Well, and I don't know, like, I guess I bring up brain power because the power of suggestibility is so real in the sense that, like your mind can alter anything.
Mm-hmm. Again, They altered Nelson Mandela being dead.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like think of seeing pictures of you as a kid. This is a good example. You may not have like memory of that picture being taken or that exact instance. But if you see a sandbox or like a pool or your old backyard that you grew up in,
a certain sound, smell, taste.
Yeah, you can create your own memory to associate itself with. That kind of snowballs, right? So like anytime you see that picture or something that jogs your memory, it immediately takes you back to a memory that you created that actually you
Might
don't
not have
have.
happened.
Yeah. Isn't that wild? And I mean, like, our memories don't really even need help screwing stuff up because they kind of suck, like mine does. It's been proven that our minds store things differently, like living in a world with technology, because we have so much knowledge at our fingertips. It doesn't store information the same way.
What did we do before Google?
What did we do before Google Maps?
Dude, I know. I don't know how to read a map.
I could not get around with someone's just giving me an address.
I know. Like my aunt, she used to be Mel. What is that? Your mailman?
Oh, I was
Your
like,
mail
she
woman?
used to be a male.
Yeah, she used to be a mail woman.
Okay. A male woman.
Yeah.
A postal worker.
There we go. A postal. I cannot figure that word out. And I was like,
You ain't a blonde for no reason.
Oh my God. Why do you think yeah, right? But it's like, how would you know where to like take certain letters, or like how could you get around? Like I would, someone's like, here's my address. I'd be like, how the fuck do I get there without typing in? But too, like if you look at certain like numbers of houses, like it does not make sense.
No.
How I'm like,
Especially
you got 25, 27 over here, but then like right next door, it's like 23, 25. So what the hell?
especially in different states. Like, because not everyone's address network is the same.
No. And then Chase is like, yeah, you can be going east, but it has nothing to do with east.
I don't even
I'm
know
like, what the fuck?
what that means in that context.
So like you're like our, you know, like you go to your address of 157 east, you know, but you're on south. Like you're facing south. Then why is it on east?
I wouldn't know my north,
Dude, I
east,
know.
west, and south without the mountains.
I don't even know what the mountains. I can't even tell my left from my right.
Well,
okay?
Ogden is always north.
Well, I can't.
Salt Lake is always south.
I know that,
and
you can't turn me in a circle and I look at a goddamn mountain and be like, "Yep."
It's never eat soggy waffles.
Never eat
Because the
shredded
sun sets in the west.
See, it just takes me a hot minute.
Elliot is the one that got me good at my directionality.
Dude, that freaking kid. He's like, "Yeah, we're going northeast, mom," and you're like,
Yeah.
"The fuck?"
Yeah,
kid?
he's crazy. But you know what?
That's
While we're
good,
on
though.
this tangent really quick, without fail, it doesn't matter what state you're in the United States of America, there is always like a 25 block radius of half of the fucking presidents. We have some in fucking Ogden. There's Monroe. There's Jefferson. There's Jackson. There's Lincoln. And everywhere
true.
I've been, there's always, I don't know,
President Street,
Presidente.
Streets.
Yeah.
Presidente.
But the way I kind of look at our minds, because like I said, it doesn't store information the same way with so much information at our disposal. It's kind our minds are kind of like more audience members rather than creators. Does that make sense? That's how I
Yes.
visualize it. And with it poses the question, like, what kind of information is left in there?
What information are we not like processing and like remembering?
Dude, this COVID brain, this fog has literally got me rereading emails. I said that on the last episode, but yesterday was my first day back in office, and it was like I had so many meetings, and it was like I knew people were talking to me. They're obviously talking at me, but I could not process the words that they were saying to me. So you gave me shit for taking a long time to read these goddamn buttons. You should be glad I'm reading them at all. It
Yours
has
like
been
nope,
rough.
wrong button. That's the theme song.
I mean, but do our mind banks start to atrophy over time, or are we still able to store reliable information?
No, because our brains are like, fuck that.
I want to
For,
know
like-
what the inside of your brain looks like.
Dude, you might get lost. I would draw you a roadmap, but
Is it cluttered? Is it
It's
cluttered in
not.
there? Mine's just always racing.
mine sometimes nothing happens up there. Like I'll be sitting there just like literally like crickets won't even go off. People are like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing.
That reminds me of the Lego movie when they go into Emmett's mind and it's just nothing.
That's what my brain is. People are like, I want to know what's inside your brain. I'm like, nothing. Literally nothing is in there. No wonder why I can't remember shit. 'Cause there's nothing in my brain.
You know what else I was laughing at? This is how my brain works, okay?
There's books in there.
So the Mandala effect in like smaller scenarios, I think of like courtrooms, like
Oh my god,
scenarios.
My mic's right. I like hit my mic.
You know, like like Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. That shit is blowing up. Like the fucking divorce proceedings, right?
Yeah, shit. Did that shit happen?
I mean, I guess that case is a little different because they both have a lot of money, so they could have both easily paid off all their witnesses. But I think of courtroom scenarios in a smaller mandala.
But you gotta think about it. They wanted that. Like, why?
They wanted the attention.
Publicity. Yeah.
The publicity.
Publicity. Yep.
But like you get a person up on the stand swearing they saw a certain event occur, like or a certain like act of what the fuck is the word I'm trying to think of? They committed a crime.
Violence?
That's exactly what I was trying to say. And then you have like 7 other witnesses arguing the opposite. Like, no way it happened this way. Like, is it really just based off of faulty memory, or is it because our brains
They didn't want to see what truly happened.
are misremembering on purpose? Like
They're trying to like our brain. Like, that's what's like so great
the
about
coping
a brain.
mechanism we talked
Is
about.
they're like trying to protect you from like remembering it a certain way, because if you remember it a certain way, it's just like not
Have you
good.
ever seen My Cousin Vinny?
No.
Like the best
Movie.
example I can think of in that kind of scenario is like when he calls all these witnesses up, and that is actually a perfect Mandala effect. Now that I think about it, holy fuck! But in this case, there actually is spoiler alert.
What?
Yeah, there actually is 2 guys that look exactly the same as the 2 guys that are being framed for murder, driving the same colored car. And so it's just like a coincidence in their case that these identical dudes in this identical car rolled up right after they left and shot the clerk. But I guess it's not the witness's fault that they misremembered, because they think they I don't know. They think they saw these 2 boys that Vinny's defending, but it wasn't them. So like, that's a really good example that just literally came to me.
We'll have to remember that. If you haven't seen it, go watch it and you can see what she's talking
Yeah,
about.
it highlights the fallibility of memory as far as eyewitnesses' testimony.
And you watched that movie how many times?
A lot. I fucking love that movie.
She's like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
You blend.
god. Oh my god.
That is dead on balls accurate.
Oh my god.
I have that movie upstairs. You're gonna
Attention, everybody.
You're gonna go watch it. You're gonna go watch
Do you have it on
it.
DVD?
Yeah, I do.
Perfect. Do
I
we
love
have a
that
DVD
movie.
player? Yes, we do. Don't sit there and around anymore.
I don't know. It's just really easy to conflate memory with emotions and biases, or with things that occurred in the interim sometime between the creation of the memory, but before you remembered. So, yeah.
Memory
dude.
of the memory of the memory to remember. So just so you remember, here's
Well,
a memory.
Like, let's say that one of your favorite movie or moments ever was seeing The Matrix in theaters, because we already brought that up, right?
But it never happened in theaters.
And Sarah got the big popcorn
Love popcorn.
and a giant Coke.
Oh, you betcha.
And maybe you even splurged and got like a little chocolate snack, like a
Oh,
little
candy.
Nestle bar or something.
a little Nestle.
Like
Is it Nestle or is it Nestle?
Oh, fuck.
You're welcome.
But
Not really, though.
when you think of that memory, your favorite time going to see The Matrix when you were 1,
When I was a 1, when I was just a seedling.
your memory is altered based off of your feelings and happiness because you're all geared up with your snacks and you're comfortable and
My big popcorn.
that emotional biases could change
It's funny,
how
like-
you remember that memory.
It's funny you bring that up. My mom said she used to nurse me when she was moving to movie theaters in the back.
Does that make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside?
No wonder I like going to the movie theaters.
Oh my God, Sarah. Like basically so you're on the same page. Like the further
I was.
Okay, all right, I'm just making sure.
But I was just bringing up another memory that my mom told me about a movie theater
That made her feel
that
fuzzy.
may or may not have happened. That she was in the back of the road nursing me when I was 5.
Good God. You would kill me. Oh, basically, the further away you get away from that memory or that moment, fucking Sarah.
Whoa.
The further away you get from that moment in time that you're remembering,
Oh my God. The memory, so you can remember it on the memory on this day for your memory, for your memoir. Remember.
it's like a copy of a copy of a copy. So you're only remembering the last time you remembered that memory.
So it's like you're playing telephone with yourself.
Exactly. Like you're playing telephone with yourself. Like you're playing telephone with yourself.
Guys, I didn't even read that before this started. Okay.
But your mind
10-4. 10-4.
Like Sarah's gonna have this experience when she goes home, when she looks back on this memory.
I
that
won't remember
occurred
half of it,
tonight.
but I'm going to say something about it. And I'll think it happened, and then Chase can be like, so this happened. And she's like, no, it didn't.
She's gonna infer something that didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, oh my
Gonna
God.
add or subtract certain things from said memory.
You bet your bottom freaking dollar I am.
This is the final theory. This is quick.
Is it though?
Yes.
With our tangent.
Yeah. Well, yours.
Mine.
I just roll with you.
Is rolling
Rolling down the river
of love.
is retroactive censorship.
Okay, what?
Yeah. It's basically like where entities like Stalin in, Russia or North Korea, they censor like what people can view or watch or read
Okay.
or listen to, like us probably.
I was going to say, we're getting there because they're taking a lot of books out of like public libraries.
Yeah. Well, basically censorship is when they can also go back and change records and erase entire events, photos.
Doesn't like what I thought like Wikipedia was like that. Wasn't there something like that where you could go in and like type what you wanted to type?
Yeah, so you can go in and edit it. Like it's not a protected website by
that's
any
what I
means. So a lot of the information on there is inaccurate. Sorry to break it to you guys.
That's why you can't believe.
Everything you read on the goddamn internet.
Such a weird
Wikipedia.
concept.
What? Who
What?
said that? Oh my God.
But they can erase entire events and publications or even people.
They are doing that now with our history books.
Yeah.
man.
And this plays into my mom's suggested theory. I was talking to her about this. And she believes rather than a Mandala effect phenomenon occurring, it's actually more plausible that events really did occur as we remember them. And it was just erased from media or written history. I mean, we obviously know this has happened. It's happening now, like you're saying, but it's happened in the past. Our own government is responsible for it. And I don't know, like even our newspapers are biased. So there's no, I don't know.
That kind of makes more sense,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
So like certain people, they like had a demographic where like we know they're gonna watch it, so we're gonna put it up there, but not everybody watches it, so we'll have it up and then we'll take it down.
Yeah. It's like false
Like information.
reporting.
Yeah.
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 So who's to say, fucker, who's to say that like this isn't the most conceivable reason for this happening? Like you said, this happens so frequently, especially in the Soviet Union, that there are entire blips in history that have never even fucking happened. And same with, I'm sure, like horrible tragedies in history. Like I'm curious to see what a history book in Germany looks like. You know, what is their retelling of the fucking Holocaust and mass murder? Do they even fucking tell them? Like, how do they educate on that?
Like, that's the thing. Do they know about that?
Oh, they have to. There's
But
fucking.
like, how do they know about it?
They have to. I would hope so.
Now she's like, wait, hold on. No. They need to know about this.
I don't know.
Right? They have
to know about it, but what if they don't know
And
about it?
people rewrite our history books. Oh, my fucking grudge.
I know that movie creep. I still can't like wash my hair with both hands.
That's so random. Oh, God. But like, who's to say that some incredibly important things that are supposed to be set in stone haven't already been changed or totally extracted completely? I mean, what if there's big chunks in even the last 100 years that we should know about, but we don't know about them?
That's what I'm saying.
Fucking like the
But you gotta think
Tulsa
about, like,
race massacre. Nobody fucking talked about that.
What?
I think it was, the Oklahoma, Tulsa, fucking, I don't know if it's
Tulsa?
It's Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a race massacre. Like hundreds and hundreds of black people were fucking gunned down and murdered, and nobody ever heard about that in history.
When?
In like I don't know. You'll have to Google it. I think the 1860s.
What the fuck?
But like there's mass graves of just poor people who
Oh my God.
their graves are unmarked. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. That's like what I'm fucking saying is like,
They're like, it didn't happen. Erase it.
well,
Don't think about it. Hide
yeah.
it. Didn't happen. But they're like, there's fucking evidence it did. They're like, no, it didn't.
well,
No,
like
it didn't.
total complete like news articles were totally taken out from history archives, like newspaper archives. They're just like missing pages. So anyways, that was just an example, but it's scary to think about. And why don't textbooks all over the world agree? Why? You know, why aren't history books universal?
Like political shit.
Well, like fucking
Because like they only
sugarcoating.
want you to know certain things, because like again, like they're just changing everything. Like they're like showing you they're teaching you what they want you to know and not know.
Yeah, but
And like they're taking certain books out of like, isn't like
but they're sugarcoating history, and the most important thing
Is
about
people are
history
idiots.
is learning from our past mistakes so we don't fucking repeat them. That's why
You
we
know
have fucking history class.
you know who we should have learned from?
Who?
The Egyptians.
Fuck yeah, dude. The fucking
They built
aliens who built
goddamn-
the Egyptians, literally, like.
Built the Egyptians.
And you know what? If this is the case, if
Pyramids.
this is the correct theory behind this
'Cause
phenomenon,
we don't know shit.
who's to say, like how can any of us say for certain that anything happened? Like, what if it's just this big fucking narrative that has been spun over time?
Like, what if like one person was like, let's say this happened overseas, and just tell them that it did, but they don't know that it didn't. How are they to know?
Yeah, how is anyone to
send
say
one-
that anything is accurate
You send one messenger over and
or
be like,
real in this case?
again, telephone. You send one messenger over to say, hey, this happened, but in his mind, he hears it as this happened.
Yeah, dude. So I have to ask you really quick, do you believe in parallel universes now?
I think I always have. I told you that.
Yeah. It's kind of like,
I was telling
I don't know. Nothing's by chance. But like then
coincidence.
in some slim cases, there are real coincidences. But it's
What?
like, yeah, dude, but it's like not like, I feel like everything that has happened has already happened.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Shelby was saying on that episode that she was on forever ago. Like, no amount of worry is worth worrying over because everything has already happened
That's what she was saying.
the way it's supposed to.
I
Or
remember
the way
that.
it will, or the way it has.
Because she's like, just think about yourself like it already happened. Like 2 weeks from now, like whatever you're going to do in 2 weeks, that already happened. So like your future
Well, and
self.
maybe
already
that's
happened.
why the power of manifestation and positive affirmation is so strong, because maybe if you put it out into the universe enough with all that energy, you kind of in a subconscious subliminal way get to pick your reality.
So you're basically
your
like, you're basically
timeline.
like telling your future self like do this. Do this.
Yeah, take that route. Like you without knowing, dude. God. Dude.
The second
It's just weird how it mostly affects like with the chronological fucking timeline of certain events in history, dates, celebrity shit, geographical stuff, you know. And I can't help but wonder if the case of alternate realities would be strengthened if there was like some place, like some universal thing in the world to like base it off of. Like, I think it'd be more plausible because like when people are like, oh, like seeing is believing, like a lot of people need proof, but it's kind of like you have mathematical and physics proved this. So what more could
but that's
you need?
one person's opinion.
No, it's not.
I could go over here and be like, yo, I flipped a water bottle and it landed on another water bottle perfectly.
I think it goes back to like is anything real?
Yeah. So
I don't know. Like, what if there was this one spot in the world where time moves a little faster, or in another world where like everything is a little slanted? Then I think we'd be like, oh yeah, we're definitely in another fucking alternate reality.
how are we supposed to know? Because it's always been like that.
God, I don't know, man.
So like, what if like we're not really walking straight up and down? Like, what if we're walking upside down? But we
Well-
don't know we're walking upside down because we're like, well, it's just we know we're upside down, but then we turn upside down. It's like we're right side up. How are we supposed to know that? Because this is the way we've been.
I don't know, but it's kind of like when you're having a really good time moves faster. When you're bored out of your mind, it feels like it drags on forever.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if time is relative in the sense that it's only what
You make of it?
what we are consciously aware of,
Like you go to the dentist and
Or
you
what-
sit there for 5 minutes, but it feels like 10 years.
or what we have the capacity to understand. I don't know. Like, that's interesting that time slows and speeds up. I don't fucking know, bro. But before we wrap it up, some of the craziest Mandala effects is the universal blood type is O. Have you heard that?
The universal blood type is O.
Yeah, not true. So don't bank on that.
That's the one that like that's the one that like you can like it can
You can get a blood
Donate it
transfusion. You could
to
anyone
everybody.
could take it. Yes.
yeah, but you only have to have like a certain blood type.
Yeah, and I heard that as a kid, and like many others, thought that when you have blood type O, you can donate it to any person who needs it. And yeah, but thanks to the Mandala effect, it looks like our memories aren't really remembering that very well because the actual blood type is O negative.
I
Yeah.
can't.
So don't be taking blood from. Ow, fuck! I just.
Don't you hate that when you rip your nose ring out? I might change mine to a hoop. 'Cause I
God.
do that a lot.
I was never a Pokemon watcher, but I feel like I
Pokemon?
remember seeing Pikachu. You know Pikachu?
I'm a Pikachu.
Okay, cool. He doesn't have a black tail. It's yellow. A lot of big misconception
Yeah, it's
on
yellow
that.
with a little black spot on it.
No, there's no black spot.
What the fuck?
You ever play Monopoly as a kid?
Yeah.
You know the Monopoly man?
He has
carries the money bags?
He has an eyeglass.
He does not.
What the fuck?
He does not have, you know what those are called?
A spectacle.
Monocles.
Monocle. No. No.
A lot of people fuck up the number of the United States.
How do you spell
Pikachu.
Oh my fucking God, he doesn't.
No, dude, he doesn't.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
Yeah.
That's inaccurate. It's actually mirror, mirror on the wall. And that's it.
What?
There's no fairest of them all. Snow White says that in a later scene. Boom. Number of U.S. states. A lot of people think the answer is 51 or 52.
It's 50.
It's 50.
I knew that.
I knew
That's
that
just
one.
like,
It's just dumb.
God.
Neil Armstrong's death, the man that landed on the moon.
yes.
Opposite effect from Nelson Mandela. Nobody had the recollection of his death.
Everyone just think he's going to live forever.
Yeah, everyone did think that he was still alive. Star Wars. We're going back to Star Wars.
Look.
C-3PO. The silver robot. The gold.
CPO?
C-3PO, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people think he's completely gold, but his right leg is actually silver. And last but not least,
Stop!
this one blew my mind today.
They're all blowing my fucking mind.
Last but not least, we are the champions, my friends.
Stop.
But not of the world. There's no time for losers because we are the champions, and that's it. That's it. That's where it ends because Freddie Mercury never says of the world at the end of that song.
What the fuck are we doing with ourselves?
I don't know, but I'm going to close with this. Here's a terrifying thought I had.
Stop. Oh my God.
Maybe humanity itself is just a temporary step in the evolution of a life form that is capable of spanning galaxies or multiverses in a meaningful way.
What?
What if, like think of we came from monkeys, right? That's the evolution of us, supposedly.
Okay.
What if we are just another step in the evolution train? What if we are on our way to being categorized as a planet one civilization?
We're just on the
What
stop.
if
The
we,
step of -0.
we're slowly getting smarter? And what if, exactly that, what if we're a stepping stone to a population of humans that has more access to their brain power
Yeah.
and is able to consciously and successfully travel multiverse or galaxies? What if we're just
I could see
in the
that.
middle here? We're still pretty fucking close to monkeys or apes.
I could see that because every time, you got to think about it, our generation, Caroline will never know what a phone book is. She will never know what a home phone is.
Right. Well,
She knows my iPhone better than I do. And
Yeah.
I don't give her, I obviously don't give her one, but she
Well, and it's a trip to think back and when all these things were being invented, during the Industrial Revolution, when the light bulb was patented, when, all these things came to be. We think that we've slowed down in progress as far as learning, but we are just accelerating. I think we are right in the middle. I don't know. The possibilities
Cars.
are really endless when it comes to this phenomenon. And we'll probably never know why these occurrences happen. It's just fun to think about. Maybe we will, though. Maybe we will.
I cannot believe the Monopoly dude. And Pikachu. I even said, no, he has a, little, but yeah, I'm yeah, his tail's not black. He, it's yellow with, little stripes.
Yeah, dude, that's how I remembered him.
He was never like that.
I don't know. It's all a trip.
Was he? Maybe he was. And they just
Maybe
changed
he
it.
was. See, and maybe it's a rebranding thing and nobody wants to fucking talk about it, but it's nowhere in any form of archive. So
I gotta tell Chase.
Yeah, dude, you'll have to share all this with him. So let's end with a question. Do you believe in alternate universes? I mean, other planes have been physically proven, like we've said about 15 times in this. Do you think, or do you think it's just a mass case of misremembering? Or do you think some higher up entity has censored some of these false memories? Or do you believe in the Mandala effect?
I don't know what to fucking believe now. I'm still tripping over the Bernstein Bears.
Yeah.
Bernstein.
I feel like the mandala is based off of something far more cosmic and beyond our reach of understanding, at least at this point in time. I think we might see some really cool shit happen before the ends of our lives. You never know.
I mean, like, I think about it. Like, my grandma, she is 83.
Yeah, so
Okay.
what kind of cars were driving around when she was a kid?
Her dad got his first car when she was 16.
That's crazy.
They didn't have a TV.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. And, like, they didn't have TV. Now, all of a sudden, like,
we have
your iPhone does everything.
touch screen cell phones. I mean, that's even changed in our life. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
when I
we
was
went-
14 and got my first phone, it was a Nokia indestructible brick.
Like, the phone.
And I remember when the Sidekick came out, the one that would flip
The
up.
Razor.
That was like the cool kid phone, you know? Yeah.
The chocolates.
So I don't know, man. Like, I think we're on our way. I don't know.
Because we're not stopping. Like, our phone's evolution every day. Like, it's a full-on touchscreen now.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Like, think about personal growth
Bluetooth
too. If you journaled something, even if it was one sentence every single day, and you went back a year to the date and read all of your writings throughout the year, you see such profound growth. It's crazy. It's not linear. Like it comes and it goes, and it's just so odd because when you're going through it day to day, it doesn't feel like there's been any progression. But then you look back on when your grandma was a kid and it's like, fuck, dude, we've come a long way.
Dial up.
Yep. We're dialing up right now.
We're dialing up. Ay.
I remember that sound.
She will never know the struggles of waiting for your computer to reboot. She won't even know what a freaking computer is.
Mommy, what's the back of this TV?
She'll be like, "What the mom? Like, what the hell is she?" There's a TikTok going around where this girl's like, "How do I hang up this?" Like, she's like, "What is this?" And it was like a little like a cord phone, and she's like, "How do I hang it up?" And the mom's like, "Are you freaking serious?" And she's like, "I don't know what this is." And she's like, "Are you kidding me?" And she's like, "No, I don't know what to do." And the kid's like, "You hang it up."
The dial phones.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah,
Those are cool.
dude, I don't know. That was even before our age. That's hard. But anyways, now that we're on a tangent, let us know what you guys think, what you believe in. Send some crazy idea topics because I've been rolling with them. We got some more good conspiracies coming up. Brett, our boy, is going to be on in a couple weeks.
Ready.
Angel from the other side of the beehive will be on in a couple
Hey.
weeks. So I was thinking about, breaking up some conspiracy episodes with, some of
Random shit.
regular tomfoolery here at Hard Talks, regular episode. But I like these.
But I like these.
I
a
like
lot.
these because it's been fueling my time and like so much of my energy and it's been making me think like a motherfucker. Like,
I mean,
reading about fucking string theory, bitch. I never even took physics in high school. I did not on purpose. And so it was like,
And then you just like roundabout being like, "I'm taking photos now."
I've been feeling proud though, because I'm like, okay, I feel like I grasp a very
Your eye twitch.
minimal understanding of this. You know what I mean? And that's far, I mean, I'm learning so much. Hope you guys are learning with me. But anyways, if you want to send us an email, you can do so at hardtalkswithbnh@gmail.com. If you want to give us a follow on Instagram and Facebook, you can do so at Hard Talks with BNH. We got our Twitter back up. It was hacked. I figured it out. All our shit is in the bio. Yeah, lots of shit. Go do the shit. And if you want to leave us,
Go take a shit.
go
Look
do
at our shit while we're taking a shit.
we'll airdrop it to you.
Yeah, that's a thing now too. AirDrop. Like, what the fuck?
Bluetooth, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like AirPods.
Screens in cars.
Self-driving cars.
Fuck, dude. Yeah. Solar cars. Oh my God, dude.
Stop.
Yeah, I know. I know. Leave us a review if you love us and enjoyed this episode on Apple Podcast or Spotify. You can also find our bonus shit on Patreon.
Bonus.
But that is it for us today. I love you, Sarah.
I love you, Lacey.
We got through that together.
Barely. My mind hurts.
I'm still...
My brain.
The vertigo is real, bitch. I'm spiraling.
Spiraling hard.
I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, whatever timeline you're in. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, fam. Bye.
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 Toodles. Toodles. Oh, toodles.
Oh, toodles. Oh.
Holy motherfucking shit.
Man.